Okay. Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. Thank you all for joining in di Ngopi Kejap dengan MOGEC. So this is a new program that we put together for the members of MOGEC as well as all the guys over there in the oil and gas industry. So hopefully this program can benefit you get to know what MOGEC really do. And in this first episode, what we will do is we will be talking to the top management of MOGEC. So later we will introduce them. You are seeing them on the screen right now, but let's wait a while before we talk a little bit about the program itself. So Ngopi Kejap dengan MOGEC, or the whole reason why we put together this program is basically, number one, is to create awareness and the objective of the MOGEC's establishment. Because MOGEC has been here in the oil and gas industry since 1999. That's a whole lot, a long time. And let's see over here what exactly MOGEC has done for the engineering community in the oil and gas industry in Malaysia. Again, all of this is only the first episode. So in the upcoming episode, you will hear a lot more about MOGEC. So I would like to start this session as soon as possible. So I do not want to be talking too much about the program itself, as you know, and you will learn later as well that this program in the upcoming episode 2, 3, and 4, and so on and so forth, you will learn a little bit more about MOGEC. So right now, I would like to pass over the floor to our co-moderator over here, Engineer Wata, who will be introducing our people who will be grilled in this session over here. So, Wata, please proceed.
Thank you, Engineer Razak. I hope the check's in the mail. Good morning, all, for this bright 2024. Welcome, panelists, to this discussion. Without further ado, let me introduce the panel. First and foremost, we have the MOGEC President, Engineer Abdul Rashid. If you can wave yourselves. Hi. Second, I say our because my company is a member of MOGEC. We have MOGEC Vice President, Technology Sharifah Zaida. If she can indicate which one she is, thank you. I mean, there's only one Sharifah, I guess, unless out of the five, somebody else is Myanmar. And then to keep all the records on track to make sure that, the man who owns the keys to the activities, MOGEC Secretary, Engineer Non Azahar, looking dapper and dash in his outfit for today. So,
thank you, Wata. So, Wata, thank you very much for introducing our guest for this session. We want to start as soon as possible so that we will get some answers. I mean, our members, like we are members as well, moderators, Engineer Wata and myself are also members of MOGEC. So what we are going to ask the questions are the questions that are burning in the mind of our members as well. So we want to know what exactly are we getting at. So that's why episode 1 over here, it's about MOGEC. Are we still relevant or not? So after its establishment in 1999, is it still relevant or not? So to start the scene, let's have the questions about what actually are the functions of MOGEC in the industry. Probably this is a question that we can ask the secretary, Engineer Azahar.
Assalamualaikum, good morning. Thank you, Abdul Razak. Selamat Tahun Baru, everyone. Thank you for giving us, myself as well, this opportunity at least to give some a quick background, probably some historical data about MOGEC. As mentioned just now by our main moderator, MOGEC was established way back in 1999 by 6 established design engineering company. Well, 6 of them, decided, to form a so-called an association related to these engineering services. But before that, what is MOGEC stands for? MOGEC stands for Malaysia Oil and Gas and Energy Engineering Council. Dalam bahasa Melayu dia, Majlis Kejuruteraan Minyak, Gas dan Tenaga Malaysia. Okay, so-called the burning question, is it still relevant? What's the purpose of this? So it's very clear in our constitution mentioned that the objective is, number one, is to provide a forum for discussion on issues of common interest. So anything related, to engineering services in this industry, we have a forum. Then at the same time, we're also promoting cooperation among the members, and we also promote the use and development of local resources in oil and gas, petrochemical, and energy industry. Just bear in mind, we have numbers of members in this MOGEC, many backgrounds. We have from local companies, we have multinational companies, we have individual, and so we collaborate each other, we're promoting each other. Okay, the next one is to collaborate. This is something interesting as well, to collaborate with local research center and institute to stimulate skills development in Malaysia. This is quite tough. Well, everybody knows what's happening now. The message out there, STEM, viral everywhere. So people not interested, not interested, So, well, this is one of the objectives as well, And
Betul lah. I think pun memang, sorry, I just wanted
right.
to butt in a little bit in terms of the STEM tu kan. It is actually the main issue that we are talking about dekat nationally right now kan.
Exactly.
But banyak ke activities yang MOGEC buat to actually promote STEM?
Well, for your information, we have been invited. I mean, previously we have been invited in TVET forum, and Sharifah also joining. So that is one of the forum that we collaborate each other with other association, other participant, with the locals, the regulators, the government officials. So that is one way how to promote. We are promoting each other actually. So
I think that's a great thing because I think probably our viewers would like to know kan, what are we doing about that. But I think this will go into a special episode that we will be talking about in the future. So so for
Exactly.
those who basically would like to know more, in the next episode upcoming, we will be talking about STEM and how MOGEC actually go in and help. So do you have any more to add ke,
Yes,
Azahar?
belum habis lagi. Tak habis lagi, not yet. I'm not finished yet. To add, you mentioned just now, we are promoting the development of graduate engineers and professional in this industry as well. And just remember, bear in mind, this association is a non-profit organization. Okay, and I just want to be very quickly on the membership. We have categories. We have founder members, ordinary members, individual members, associate members, honorary members. All this information is available in the website. You can go to the website, it's available, So that's at the moment.
Thank you, Azahar. If there is anyone else who would like to add a little bit more in terms of the actual function of MOGEC, please do so. Don't be shy because right now the whole purpose of this episode 1 is to tell people that we are still relevant. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, just to add on, sorry Azahar tak habis cakap lagi. So just to add on, before it's MOGEC, we have very focuses on engineering services. And I think last year, during our AGM, we decided to change name, add on energy. So we are diversifying, I mean, to a bigger, bigger roles. We want to explore more. So we want to make MOGEC more interesting and relevant to the industry and catch up with the industry.
Oh, that is actually something new that probably as a member, I didn't know about it as well. So we added energy into the engineering. So energy and engineering. So the MOGEC is not MOGE squared. No,
No,
is it?
not really. So we decided to maintain as it is, but
Okay.
in what's we mentioned in the logo is still MOGEC, but actually representing energy as well.
That is actually very interesting.
That's yeah, true.
Yeah, probably a little bit more promotion to the members so that everyone knows that energy. And also I think in the oil and gas industry punya community, they should know as well so that more members can actually join in, because we are not just doing the the engineering, but energy part of it. um Wata, do you have anything to add or next question? Go ahead.
Thank you, Engineer Razak. Oh, sorry, actually, Engineer Nur Azhar. I'm not sure who was answering the questions there, but I think that's a lot of information. Guess we're looking forward to the next episode about STEM. So that was a bit about the functions of MOGEC as explained by our secretary. But how about we move on to something a bit bigger, which is about the position of a MOGEC in the industry. There are other industry bodies out there. For example, near and dear to my heart would be Persatuan. I was going to make something up, but that joke fell flat. For example, IEM. What else would there be? ICAME, SPE, local co-ops, and so on and so forth. So where does MOGEC stand in this big picture? Are we talking about holistic approaches? Do you have a elevator pitch? What makes you stand out? And I think the best person to represent this question would be, I propose it to the President, Engineer Abdul Rashid. Perhaps you would like to answer this question or give your opinions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, moderators. Assalamualaikum. Good morning on a Saturday morning. Everybody should be enjoying themselves, but for today we have to work. Thank you for Ngopi Kejap team, especially IR Razak and IR Wata. This is actually our first event for 2024. Alhamdulillah. Back to the question. Let me just break it down into a few parts. Number one, in the engineering fraternity, oil and gas engineering fraternity actually started about 4 decades ago, when somebody in the decision-making role said that all detailed design must be done in Malaysia, and that's how we all started. And as IR Azahar explained, we were formed in 1999. Currently, we are an organization comprising of about 75 member companies. So MOGEC plays a pivotal role within the engineering landscape. We are currently the central hub for both greenfield and brownfield projects. Internally, within MOGEC members, we try to collate and disseminate industry information among our members to enhance their collective knowledge base. Sometimes we also compete. I think we will have a separate discussion about pinching of staffs among member companies. That's a separate discussion altogether, but we are trying to address that as much as we can. Externally, we collaborate extensively within the industry, particularly with MOXI, MOSVA, and MOCA. We have very close relationship with the president and the members of those association that I mentioned just now. So these collaboration are platforms where industry-wide challenges are discussed and addressed in conjunction with major clients in Malaysia. Our relationship with this peer organization enable us to, at times, collectively tackle industry issues and facilitate innovative solution. It works most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't work, but it's always a work in progress. And then what I mentioned about BEM and IEM, I'm very happy to update that we have a very close relationship with organizations such as BEM, IEM, especially in areas where certification of members we need to emphasize among our members and also our clients. And then among our members, they are also actively participating in activities organized by SPE and ICAME, contributing their expertise to these specialized areas within the industry. One of the things that I want to highlight is we recently signed an agreement with IEM to collaborate closely, at times do joint function, joint events. It can be difficult because IAM and BM represent many industries, but where we can, where there is an overlap, we try to collaborate together. BM has also helped us. There are issues where sometimes the client insists that certain level of engineers must be PE or PEPC. We have brought that up with BM. We have discussed it with the clients, and especially their project team and the procurement team. This is still being resolved. Hopefully, at some point in the near future, we can find a solution where this can be addressed. Because as far as we are concerned, the oil and gas industry, as in the engineering side, we are all very self-regulated. We follow international standards. It doesn't mean that somebody who must be certified as a PEPC before they can become a lead engineer. The other thing that I want to mention is the synergy and the benefits from this collaboration. I mentioned earlier the PE certification. We have had discussion with BAM where we feel that in the oil and gas industry in particular, certain roles, for example, engineers who work in the operations and maintenance, they don't really need to be a PEPC, or they don't have the experience or the background for them to sit for the exam to become a PEPC. So we need to find another avenue for them to be qualified and recognized by BM. And I'm pleased to report that last year Azahar and we had a discussion with BM together with other industry representatives, and maybe some additional category of certification by BM may be introduced in the near future. So all in all, MOGEC is trying our best to stay relevant in the sense to ensure engineers practicing in the oil and gas industry understand what is required within the industry and what is also required by the authorities in Malaysia. For example, we know for a very long time that in Malaysia, it is against the law for somebody to use the term engineer if you are not registered with the Board of Engineers. But I think there are times when these rules have been broken. But fortunately or unfortunately, BM do not have the capacity to enforce this rule. So it is all based on who reports the issues to the authorities. So I hope I've covered the question proposed by Awata. With that, I pass this back to the moderator. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer Rashid. As you mentioned, MOGEC has a collaboration with other industries. Sorry. Perhaps I'll have a follow-up question in a while, but with all that and your plans for the future, as the great Stanley once said, Excelsior. There's only one way to go, and that is up and up. Maybe we'll circle round to the questions in a bit, but I see Engineer Razak is turning blue.
Yes.
Even his jacket has turned blue, so over to him.
I would like to ask a little bit more about I comment a little bit more on Engineer Rashid punya statement about working together with BEM, and I think that's a good thing in the oil and gas industry right now. Because Petronas is also doing its bit to promote engineers to become a professional engineer as well. And also, I would like to comment about the self-regulated industry. This is a very important part for all the oil and gas people out there. When we talk about self-regulated, and we basically at par or even better than the international standard itself. So that is a very significant part of the oil and gas industry in Malaysia, and especially for the engineering part. This is where MOGEC will try to guide the industry for the oil and gas industry in the engineering sector in terms of how it is actually being run. I have the next question, and the next question I would like to ask a person that I am very, excited to introduce. We have Sharifah Zaida, and the first time I actually know her is when she leads the MOGEC. So her experience is so vast, and I really looked up to her in the industry itself, because as a woman, she really have done well in the industry. But we are not going to talk about women in the oil and gas industry. We are going to talk about that in the future probably. But you as the vice president, and this is a bit of a naughty question lah, because I always ask this question at the second person in line, kan? So you as a vice president, we would like to know what exactly is your vision for MOGEC in the 5-10 years to come in the future. What can you talk about that? Thank you.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone, or is it good afternoon, whichever when this is going to be aired. Thank you very much. Raza, I have never known you to be such a very cheerful on screen. You make it so exciting. Of course, Wata adds to the grandeur of so the couple makes a fantastic moderators. Okay. I think the question of is engineering or is MOGEC still relevant? Oh my God, how can it not be? I mean, I've been in the industry for 33 years or 34 years. And before that, Happy New Year, everyone. And hope this year will be a very, very nice year this year. In the past, I think we all know that oil and gas have been quite not very conservative. Kan? Dia sangat-sangat we must have proof and things like that. But with all this energy transition that's happening, you are looking at new things, and like it or not, the industry have to move to look at new things. Now, where are these new things coming from? If not from engineers, we are the one that have to innovate, that have to use the existing technology and make it better and things like that. So how can engineering not be relevant? And MOGEC is focused on engineering fraternity. I'll talk a bit later. I think I'll talk about it now, right? With the what we have done in the last year, I mean, under Cik Rashid, they've asked us, how can we make MOGEC more relevant going into the future? And what we have done in the ESCO is that we have come up with a roadmap, or so to speak, and we are saying that and we have come up with sort of a vision, a theme for MOGEC from 2024 to 2030, where we are talking about posturing the engineering fraternity towards Malaysia's 2030 energy transition. Now, this theme has been approved by the ESCO in one of the meetings, but we have not we are still developing this theme further going into the future, because we still need to sort of tweak a little bit on things that we wanted to, because we are coming out with a vision, mission, objective, and we are focusing on the activities, on how we can actually leverage on this theme. And one of the reasons why we wanted to have this team is that, with all the things that's happening with the industry going into the future, and most of the people, although we know we want to have net carbon zero in 2050, but in actual fact, a lot of them not sure on how to get there. So we are trying to formulate on how the steps to move towards this 2050 vision. And who else better than to actually help us to move this forward than the engineers? We have the RMK 12 from the government, that is an activity, that is a industry policy that goes until 2025. We have the NEP that was launched in 2022 that will go until 2040. We have the OGSC blueprint by MPRC that goes from 21 to 2030. We have NETR, Net Energy Transition Roadmap, which was launched on the 27th of July 2023, that will move until 2030. And we have now, on top of that, we have NIMD, NIMP by MITI, IESG by MITI, and then on top of that, we have the overarching parameters by BM and IEM on the engineers. And of course, last but not least, we have Petronas Activity Outlook. Now, who better than MOGEC to streamline all these requirements and say, okay, these are the things that has come out, and these are the one that's overlapping, and these are the things that we can do going forward in order to posture the engineering fraternity to meet the Malaysia, at least in our, because we have about 6 years to this Malaysia's 2030 energy transition, hoping that we can ensure that we have the relevant capabilities, the relevant skill sets, the relevant focus in moving the industry forward. So how on earth can MOGEC not be relevant? This is our main activity. We are engineers, and we are able to do this in a very systematic way. So this is what we are looking towards, and we hope that when we can actually break it down and fragment it more better in order for everybody to understand. And we will have pathways in each of these activities that we will do. And we hope that we can help the industry move this forward towards achieving, especially the 2050 vision, because it's important for our world. It's not for just because people want it. It's actually a requirement for all of us. We have to be responsible for our world. I hope that answers your question, Razak.
Yes, definitely. Bersemangat Rindu jadi member pada MOGEC ni sekarang ni.
Yes, please come and become a member.
I am already a member.
No, I'm sorry. I'm talking to the audience. Please come and become a member and help us move this forward.
Exactly. People who are engineering as well as energy, come over and join MOGEC, yeah?
But not only engineering and energy, it's also the engineering, energy, and every related services, because it's very important that engineer forms the starting point of any activities in terms of getting a project on, and nobody can underestimate the power of engineering. I'm nearly square there. You foil the engineering design, and you have exponential consequences at the fabrication and the construction stage. And you don't want to spend money when you can actually spend time doing the engineering properly, and we need good engineers for that.
And but actually, when you mentioned about net carbon zero by 2030, I think that is so relevant. And we will do one more episode, especially on that. And saying all of that, I also like to promote the upcoming episodes that we plan to do. Ngopi kejap dengan MOGEC ni. So kita akan buat some of the questions that is burning in the oil and gas industry. Hidup lagi ke industri ni dalam 10-20 tahun lagi? Ada ke minyak lagi kat Malaysia? So if you all are interested to know about that, we will be calling some of the people in the industry to be talking about that. And also we'll be talking about macam mana MOGEC ni nak really bantu business korang. And just now, Engineer Rashid has already mentioned about one of the functions and what basically a collaboration that we have done and all that. How basically MOGEC can help you all. And also we'll be talking about things like artificial intelligence and also machine learning in the oil and gas industry. So there's a lot more episodes that is upcoming. But I will pass over right now to Wata, who conclude. So probably you want to give one last question that is open to all. Go ahead,
Okay.
Wata.
Okay, how about we look towards the future? Maybe this is open to all. We start with the president, then VP, secretary, and if we can find our assistant secretary, which apparently is moving at 100 kilometers per hour at the moment. The question is, what events, this is to stimulate future participation into MOGEC, what events do you have lined up? Perhaps social, perhaps technological, exhibitions that you will be participating with, where the members can come at a reduced price. Of course, everybody is price sensitive at the moment. I personally would like to know whether we at not we, sorry, let's rephrase that. Whether whether your collaboration, for example, the IEM, ICAME, SPE, whether you're looking forward to things like that. I think this is a free for all, but to just get a bit of structure into it. We'll let the president start off first, then perhaps I'll give it to Engineer Razak to corral the VP, secretary, and others. Thank you. So, Mr. President, over to you.
Okay, I think our plan for this year is still being developed. We probably can share some of them. But before I get into that, let me give me some time to highlight our relationship with Petronas that we have developed over the years. And I must say that our rapport with Petronas has been quite remarkable, especially in 2023, where we had many engagement with different departments in Petronas. The most important is the group procurement team. And in fact, before the end of last year, we had CEO gathering, CEO of all engineering companies who are members of MOGEC, and we had representative from the group procurement team to be part of that. So this engagement serves as a pivotal platform for us to be open and be transparent, have dialogues, and highlight what are the critical challenges faced by the engineering services providers within the industry. The other things which is something as engineers we want to highlight or put across to all our clients. Sharifah mentioned the importance of engineering. We cannot emphasize that more than what she has said. One of the things that I always want to highlight is do not squeeze engineering. Give time for engineering. Do not jangan lokek-lokek sangat engineering ni. Sebab engineering ni mahal-mahal pun, in the overall scheme of things, that cost is very small. And you must make sure your engineering is done good to avoid problems later during procurement and construction and fabrication and commissioning and handing over to the client.
Very true kan, Engineer Rashid. Because many of our clients basically kalau because I don't blame them, because part of their job is to basically reduce the entire cost of the project, as much as possible. But I think everyone should appreciate the work of engineering do take time, because we look at all the possibilities and how much it actually will cost in each one of the options. And then we come up with the recommendation of what is the most optimized for that particular project. So that is what we do, what our responsibility. And I think non-engineering people will probably not understand that, but really want to squeeze us in terms of time, in terms of cost, whatsoever. Safety is the most paramount thing in engineering. So, but I think we cannot emphasize more on those areas. Yes, please proceed. Sorry to be cutting you over there.
No. I think that was a very good interjection. And the other thing is, with the wealth of AI now, with the wealth of machine learning, some of the requirements or specification for example, lead engineers, for so many years, ever since I started working in this industry, they said you must have 10 years, 15 years. 10 years, 15 years, nobody wants to work anymore. They are already become bosses. But you have to be flexible. People should be able to learn faster now with access to AI, for example, with access to Google. The only thing is you must have guidelines to make sure that you are learning the right things. I give you an example. When I was running an engineering company, we make sure that there is a line of checkers who are themselves very experienced engineers. Some of them are retired. We brought them in from Japan, from the UK, and all they do is just check the engineering work that are done by young engineers before we hand it over to the client. I think we have to have this kind of mechanism so that more younger people can come into the industry without being scared to do engineering. I remember when I was a young engineer, it is actually a very scary thing to do a design work, because you always question whether this will work or not. But with the help of a more experienced line of checkers who can give you advice and lead you to the right direction, that will develop confidence. And hopefully, my vision is MOGEC, or collaboration with other organizations from the government, from HRD Corp, from MPRC, for example, from Petronas maybe, we will be able to develop a system to help that, because we should encourage more young graduates to come into engineering. We see there's a shortage of manpower at the moment. If we don't address that, we will have problems in the future. One more thing about Petronas is we always try to emphasize to Petronas, when they go overseas, ambil lah orang-orang kita kerja dengan dia dekat overseas. So I think
that is so true, isn't it? I mean, like we will try to export some of our services. And while you are talking about that, and I think all of our members should know as well, there's always Matrade as well that makes it possible for us, the engineering companies out there, to export our product and services overseas. And the assistance that Matrade actually will be giving us is tremendous. And probably one of the episodes that we will be doing is about how Matrade can, can help us out over here. Okay. Any more, Rashid? Because we are actually running out of time, and I would like to give the floor to Engineer Azahar, as well as Sharifah, to talk a little bit about, one last words from you guys.
Please go ahead.
Start with Azahar.
Yeah.
Oh, tak sabar-sabar nak cakap ni. Tak sabar-sabar nak cakap. I think the president has talking about the vision, the objective, the mission. I want to focus one thing. I want to focus, man, this is my vision. on MOGEC. Want to focus on the current and future generation, because they are the one who will later, running this, And Sharifah is talking about 2030, talking about 2050. Guys, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years later. So who is taking over? Generation Z and later Alpha. So, and not to mention again, not forgetting about STEM as well. Let make it more, what do you call it, interesting. And again, and again, and again, because people out there, looking at the social media is very, very disappointing, some of the message that we receive. And maybe you guys are IEM as well, in the group as well, with the BEM, how we promoting STEM, to the students, So again, focusing on the next generation, and I really, and hope that later we can, bring interest, the passion to all these young kids, and yeah, and yeah, true, very true, and collaboration with the governments, policymakers, Petronas, that is very important as well, which we have already, and we want to continue, and we want to make it better and better. And this is for the sake of the members as well. Yeah, because they are looking forward to that as well, especially to have engagement with the companies like Petronas, NPRC, the governments and so on. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Janaza. But actually, talking about the working with the future generations, there's a lot of avenues that IEM and BEM are currently doing, at which I think it would be good as well to bring in MOGEC to do. And I think it is good as well, because from whatever that we were talking today, it's obvious that MOGEC is still relevant in the engineering, oil and gas, Malaysia, in the industry. So what we wanted to probably see a little bit more is how basically this message that we are hearing today gets to our member as well as the industry out there. And I think that is the part, and probably members are not well informed of what exactly that MOGEC are doing and how we progress and so on and so forth. Probably, TS Sharifah can elaborate a little bit more as closing remarks for our session today. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll try to keep it short. These are the buzzwords going forward when it comes to capability, passion. Now, you talk about passion, because you have excellence without passion, no point. You can't excel. We want the best of everybody. So how can someone progress their career with passion? Now, not everybody wants to become bosses. Not everybody wants to become technical, but some want to become technical. We need to understand this type of landscape for the next generation coming forward, and we need to have pathways for them to move forward. And it's very important that they understand that they can progress based on management, and they can progress based on technical, and we need both of them, because once they have the passion, then everything goes easy. The second buzzword is competency-based skill sets. We want competency-based skill set that has to come with passion. We must have competent people. I think gone are the days where people do engineering 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 just to get a meal's worth for the day and things like that. Gone are those days. We need to have that passion. We need to have that competency, and there is no competency without passion. I'm serious about that. In all the speaking sessions I have, you must be passionate about what you're doing, and that keeps you moving until Engineer Azahar and also Engineer Rashid was saying to God, when you're 50, 60, 70, who's interested in work? No, if you're passionate about it, you cannot stop working, because it's not work anymore. It's a passion. Excellence with soul. So when you actually, when we go, as mentioned by one of the other panelists, the government now is very serious about education. I've just attended one session yesterday. They call Wachana from the Ministry of Higher Education. They're talking about excellence with soul. You need to have excellence with soul, because moving forward with excellence without a soul, that's where you lose your compassion. So excellence with soul is very important, and it's going to be what they say diterapkan dalam activity curriculum, where all the universities and even the colleges, the community colleges, TVET and things like that, it's going to be embracing all this. And the Prime Minister yesterday mentioned this, and I quite like the term, menggapai langit berakar ke berakar ke bumi. So you want to reach for the stars, but you must not lose your budaya, or you must not lose your this one. So excellence with soul. The other one is you need to leverage on gender diversity, because, men and women, they have different skill sets. And for me, there is no gender diversity. When I speak to people, I don't think there is such thing as gender diversity. It's leveraging on the strength that each of us have. Now, I mean, I'm not being gender biased here, but in design, women tend to be more meticulous in designing. So and we need to encourage more women to come and do STEM and come to do engineering, so that we can have the best from the engineering. Of course, I'm not saying that all women have to do engineering, but must have more women be a lot of times women are afraid to go into oil and gas because it's considered as a man's world. But we need to have this awareness, and leveraging on the strengths is very important to actually add value to the outcome you want. So, and the last one will be collaboration. Collaborate. In the past, the government, and I remember when we said when we wanted to do TVET, and when we talked about competency-based skill set, that's basically TVET, we have to cut across 9 ministries, and we keep highlighting this pain to the government. Now, if you see the pace that the government is moving forward, they're talking about making the changes in 3 months' time, 2 months' time, when in the past they're looking at making the changes in 12 months' time. So we are moving forward, embracing AI, embracing technology, innovation, and we in the industry, in the energy, oil and gas, must also move forward. We already move very fast, but we must move faster. And I think that's very important moving forward. And MOGEC would be able to help fill in. We are not that big, so we can't do everything, but we would be able to fill in and help give some ideas of how to move this forward. And there will be activities along the lines that we've said to help people to know where they need to go to, what direction, what focus that they would be interested to help the industry to be better. Thank you, Razak.
Thank you, Sharifah. Very well said. I love the things that you mentioned about excellence with soul. We will talk a little bit more about that, and I love as well the menggapai langit dan berakar di bumi. And I am convinced that MOGEC is still relevant in the oil and gas industry. But for right now, let's stop our discussion, and I will pass over to Engineer Wata for the closing. Go ahead. Thank you.
I think I'm overwhelmed with the information that we've gotten, especially Razak for getting the phrase, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. Thank you.
Yes, that's
exactly
the one.
right. That's right. That's the right word. Yeah.
Anywho,
What
thank you. Thank you, participants, for your panelists, for your introduction, the first of many, we hope, for this Ngopi session. Next time, this session can only get better and better, more information. Those of you who are out there in the virtual land, please, want to see this, come back with suggestions for topics that we like to know. Send your love email, your not so love email to the channel, and then we'll pick it up and follow on from there. So I think as closing for today, we'd like to thank our panelists from MOGEC, President Engineer Rashid, Vice President Technology Sharifah, Secretary Engineer Azahar, the guy in the blue suit, Engineer Razak, and myself, Wata, signing off for this section of Ngopi MOGEC. Thank you. Have a good day. Assalamualaikum.